Hey everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's card. This time I used one stamp and I cut a piece of it out and colored it differently. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this background stamp and ink it up with some Versamark ink and stamp it onto some Neenah Solar White cardstock. And now I'm going to emboss it with some white embossing powder. I kind of skipped the whole heating part here. I heat the back of it to prevent warping, so that helps a little bit. Nice little tip. And then I'm going to ink it up again with Versamark, and I'm going to stamp it again on some Neenah cardstock. And this time I'm going to put some black embossing powder on it. And this is the part of the card that's going to be popping up in the front and colored. Alright, so here it is all embossed, and I'm taking some Melon Mambo Stampin' Up! Ink, and I'm pushing the top of my ink pad into the bottom, and that allows the ink to pool up on the lid. And then I take my aqua painter, which is, it's a pen that's filled with water, and if you squeeze it, water comes out. And so I'm dipping it into the top, the lid of the ink pad, and getting some ink on it. And I'm starting in the center of the butterfly because I want the center to be darker. And so as you continue to paint with the aqua painter and the ink starts to wear off a little bit, it gets lighter and more watery. So if you want less ink, you squeeze the pen and more water comes out. If you want more ink for it to be darker, then you just don't squeeze as much. And when you're done with it, all you have to do, I just took a tissue and I just wiped the tip off on it, and the ink comes out, and then you can start with a new color. And I'm going to do Daffodil Delight this time, and I'm going to color the outside edges of the wings. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to take Pumpkin Pie and do the center lines of the butterfly. This is Crumb Cake marker, and I'm just going to color it in every other stripe there. And then I'm going to cut it out. Notice that there was kind of an overlap in the background, and I just took a marker to kind of extend it out. So it is a little bit of a weird piece in there, but I don't think you really notice it. And this is some Yellow Stickles by Ranger, and I'm just going to highlight all the yellow parts. So it's yellow on yellow, it just creates a little sparkle. I'm just squeezing it and kind of moving it around with the tip. Alright, I'm going to push that off to the side and let it dry for a little bit. And now I'm going to work on the white embossed piece. I'm going to take some Broken China Distress ink, and I'm going to ink it up all the way around. And I'm not going to go too dark because I'm going to put something else on top of this. So I just want it to be a little light. The bottom portion of this background stamp is for a sentiment, or at least that's how I look at it. And so I'm not going to go quite all the way into that area with the blue. I want to leave it a little whitish so that I can put my sentiment in there. Alright, now I'm taking my Distress ink and I'm actually putting some onto my craft sheet. This is a Tim Holtz, well, I guess it's Ranger craft sheet. And I'm using my aqua painter the same way I did with the Stampin' Up! Ink. I'm just going to pick it up with my aqua painter, and I'm going to paint all of these areas, all the inside of all the flowers and the swirls and the leaves. And so it's kind of a tone on tone because I'm using the same color that I used to color the background. Okay, so when I'm done with all that, I'm going to take my sentiment, which is Curly Cute by Stampin' Up!, and I'm using some VersaFine black ink. I'm going to stamp it in that area. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this panel to a black 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch sheet, and then I'm going to put that on the folded cardstock. So I'm going to use this black embroidery thread to create the antenna of the butterfly, and it's pretty easy to do. I took my 2A glue pen and I just kind of drew where I wanted it to go, and then I just pressed it down there. The glue is, this 2A glue pen, as you guys know, is my favorite. And I also have my little paper piercer, which I use for a lot of different things to kind of hold it in place. But it sticks really well because it dries pretty quickly. Now, when it came to doing the other side of this, I'm going to spare you all the details of how I couldn't figure out which way to start it because the swirl kept going in the wrong direction. So anyway, I actually had to draw a picture. Once I drew the picture, then I was able to do it in the right direction, and it went quickly. So I skipped all that part and went straight to actually putting it on there. That's my picture. Okay, I'm just going to straighten it out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my butterfly and I'm going to use mini glue dots. I'm going to put 3 of them right down the middle, and that way the wings can fly up. And the water from the watercoloring kind of curled the paper up a little bit, which was really cool because then it looks like the butterfly is flying. These are some rhinestones, clear rhinestones by Stampin' Up, and I just colored them with a Copic marker, which I've been doing, and then I have pretty much every color I need, and I just stick them right there on the edges of the thread. Then I decided that I wanted my background to be just a little bit darker because there was too much contrast. So I went back in and colored it a little bit darker, and luckily my edge was black, so it didn't really cause any issues. Okay, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.